Hello guys, welcome back. This is Jordan Lives Here, bringing you some more computer tips on how to care for your computer. This is Windows Tips and Tricks, episode 6. Now this one isn't covered in the log, but another idea that just came into my head. Let me just sort the keyboard out. And that is the power options that are built into Windows. So, first off, what should you do when you are not using your computer for a while? Well, there is the option to shut down, but Windows has a few other options in the control panel that you can try out. These 4 options are sleep, hibernate, shutdown, and hybrid mode, which is mainly for desktop PCs. I'm going to talk about the 4 states in detail. First off, we're going to be talking about the shutdown stage. Now, most users are familiar with the shutdown stage because it completely shuts down the computer's operating system, closing all open programs, and of course, when rebooted, it will take a long time to do, plus you've got your user login screen, and no one really has time for that. They just want to get some work done. So, what are the other options? Well, that's all shutdown does. It just completely powers down the unit. Now, the next thing you're going to want to look at is sleep. Putting a computer to sleep. Simply, if you're using a laptop like I am, close the lid. The secure desktop icon will appear, meaning you'll have to type in your password the next time your computer reboots. So that's all you'll need to do when you wake the computer up. To wake it up, open it up, and then press any key on the keyboard, and it shall wake up eventually. Sleep mode is really good if you want to save a bit of power, but it's not recommended if you're not charging the computer. If you're not charging it, then I'd recommend using hibernate mode. Hibernate mode essentially saves all your user state to memory, so any open documents are saved onto your hard drive, and the computer completely shuts down. Well, it seems like it shuts down, but this is the hibernate mode stage. You get the exact same amount of power you would from a computer that is shut down. But when you reboot again, all your open documents will come back and your login screen will appear, but with only the password box and the username box filled in. So all you'll need to do is type in your username and password and you're in. And but your computer will take a little bit longer to reboot than it would from sleep. And then there's hybrid mode, which basically is combination of hibernate and sleep mode, but you don't need to use that if you have a laptop, because the reason why laptops don't need it is because they have a battery. Anyway, that's just a bit of that's just some Windows power options. Of course, there is the option to log off and lock as well. So you can log off and lock as well if you need to, but you'd see there'd be no need to do that, especially if you're going to be the only user using the unit. But locking would be so that, say, a sibling tries to get on and is trying to spy on you, you can just use the lock command. But why bother? The sleep command will lock it anyway, so will hibernate. And I know some people leave their computers on 24/7. Now, you shouldn't really be leaving your computer on 24 hours a day. And by that I mean, like mine is now, the hard drive spinning, processing data. This really can disturb any internal hardware later on in your computer's life. So be warned, that can happen. And you are wasting a whole load of electricity if you leave your computer on 24/7. That's why sleep, hibernate and shutdown are probably the best options, because they're basically your main source of, they basically power down the computer. First of all, I'm going to show you them now. So what I'm going to do is tap in power options by going into the start menu. That should come up into the control panel if I press enter. These are the settings. So on battery power, turn off after. I've got them all set to never. So what we want to do is go all the way down here. Until you hear it, until you get to additional power settings. Pressing enter on this brings us to the control panel, and here is where we can actually change what the computer does when we press either of the power buttons. So let's go through them with tab. So you can choose what the power button does, whether it shuts down, hibernates, or puts your PC to sleep. And the next option, and it's the same for choosing what closing the lid does. So that's basically an overview of the power options of the computer. Sorry you can't hear NVDA talking because the camera completely blocks it. But if you can, then that's a miracle. Or you can create a power plan. That's just Google Chrome reminding me of the time. Anyway, silly Chrome. Oh well, never mind. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Creating a power plan will basically schedule when the computer will shut down. Although I don't know how that will work, and I am not going to bother trying it. So let's just see the next option. Choose when to turn off the display. Again, that'll probably turn the screen off, and you can choose when it can turn off. Change when the computer sleeps. I have literally no idea what that is meant to be, but I guess you can change when it sleeps. Windows Mobility Center, user accounts, and then power options, and there's a help which just links to Microsoft's homepage. Okay, you can learn about power plants here, and it's just told me something about it, but obviously I can't read the screen because I'm visually impaired. Change balance settings for the whatever. Change screen brightness, up, address, and then you're just back in your control panel. So those are some basic Windows tips and tricks from Jordan, and this is episode 6, power and all that. So I hope you've learned something today. Remember, you can always watch some of my other videos on Windows on YouTube, and you can also follow me on Twitter or email me at jordanlivesy9@gmail.com. This is Jordan Livesy signing off, saying have a good day everyone.